Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 of Zenith versus CLG, your International 2, day number 2, group stage play action coming at you. This is only our first series of 6 for the day. So many fantastic series ahead, but before we can move on to any of those, we have to wrap up Loda facing off against his old team. Will it be Episode 2, Revenge of the Loda, or will it be Episode 2, Pycat Strikes Back? We will find out momentarily. But I can tell you one thing, there ain't going to be no Pycat Lycan this game around. Or this game, I should say.
Yeah, Pycat Lycan is it's pretty good. The question is, will there be a Darkseer in this game? I'm not too sure what the statistic is on Darkseer, but it seems like he's not as immortal as we thought it'd be. Darkseer, again, making it to the Pigman stage. You gotta just pick it up, right? I mean, sure, he's not winning every game, but he's just a damn good hero.
I don't know. You know, we've seen him lose enough that I would say only if he fits into what you want to do. I think that's it.
But he does everything.
Yeah, but he loses too, man. Darkseer is a mortal. He might be a demigod, but he's not a full-blown god. At least not unless Ice Frog hacks him.
Right.
That's
why Zeus is pick every game, right? Because he's definitely a god.
You know what else I'll point out is Pycat's Invoker is on the board. Morphling slips through. He got banned in the first stage last game. And Morphling is a hero that's been winning a crap ton of games, but no, they go with Ake's Chen, and you can never argue with this.
Nope, you cannot. One of the best jungler play in Europe. I feel like Ake just does not get enough credit. You know, you have your puppies, you have your art styles, you have your milks. Man, it's Ake, at least where I feel. But looks like Zenith says, we'll show you how to actually play this Darkseer Invoker combo. And they snatch both hero up immediately.
Yeah, I like it. Enigma's in the pool as well. You know, it's an interesting question. How far down that dark path of ultimate wombo combo do you want to go? We saw some of the drawbacks of Enigma in that last game. His ultimate, not the most reliable. Sure, you don't pick him just for the ult. But when the game gets late, if it's a pretty even game, you really do need a good black hole to push you over the top. Also, if the enemy team has carries with buybacks, if there's any way for them to contribute or join the fight quickly, whether it's buybacks or Aegis or Cheese, to survive in the fight, live through a black hole, you're a one-shot go, you know, unless you somehow get your hands on a Refresher, which is a long way to go for any Enigma. So that's the downside to him, but he fits in well with Darkseer and Invoker because he frees up one of the lanes, and they do need to solo lanes or throw Darkseer into the jungle, in which case you're looking at another solo hero, so we'll see how they want to do it. Enigma's got to be on the minds of both teams, though.
Yep. I think CLG is where they're strongest at is when they have junglers. Chen, Enchantress, really setting up a lot of their offenses. What the CLG used to love to do is basically push multiple lanes at once. You push mid with Chen creeps and a couple other heroes, and then you push bot with a very, very survivable hero like Lycanthrope or Stormshot or Invoker or something like that, and basically pressure the enemy so much that they do not know where they're getting hit, like they're just losing towers after towers after towers, similarly to what Zenith did to CLG last game. And having Chen allow you to be basically everywhere at once. If somebody on the bot lane is dying when they're pushing aggressively, there's a Hand of God. So here we go, and that's the tough to kill carry that we're talking about. It's a Morphling, and we might see a Pycat Morphling. We're probably going to see a Pycat Morphling, and boy, it's a scary beast.
I'm expecting there's a Tidehunter as well. I'm expecting there's a quick chance here of a Shadow Demon reply, but no, it's an anti-mage. This harkens back to the International 2 East qualifiers when all the Asian teams were picking anti-mage or Morphling. I think we saw that particular matchup like 10 times, and I want to say it was a very even matchup. It normally comes down to the supporting cast. Both of these teams have a great supporting cast so far. I would not give the edge to either team. It's a different kind of supporting cast. Chen will do more early, and he will provide more defensive capabilities, but Invoker, there's your big burst damage, there's your big initiation. Darkseer as well. These two combo well together. And if they get rolling, that's going to create a lot of space for this anti-mage. I'm also wondering, is there any chance we'll see something besides a burning-style anti-mage? It seems like Battle Fury is in vogue, back in full force, but I do feel there is a place for Vanguard, for Vlads, for early Manta, for more aggressive items that get your contributions going a bit sooner.
I don't know. I feel like the Battle Fury anti-mage is too easy. You could get far behind. I mean, again, we saw Bernie. He lost his tower early. He had 10 creep kills at the 8-minute mark. It wasn't good farm, but once you pick up the Battle Fury, it's like that never happened. You just fly up to the farm shop when you pick up the BF and you get the Equality Blade. I think it's just too easy and it's just too good not to skip it. We saw an anti-mage player that was falling a little bit behind yesterday. He went Vanguard first and then still went back to the Battle Fury. I think Battle Fury and anti-mages a match made in heaven. They just go together, and I'll be very, very surprised if Anti-Mage does not go BF this game.
It is a Morphling, and that's the hero that can really get involved early, setting up some kills. One thing I want to point out is that Morphling has actually. I was talking about the stats of Morphling winning a lot of games, but his win rate by far is highest when he goes solo mid in this event. And guess who normally sends him solo mid? It's the Asian teams. But I would not be too surprised if CLG send him mid. Pycat has definitely done it before. You start with the Wraith Band, your team pulls your regen, and you become a big time contributor. You can outlast Hit Invoker early, even if he goes Exhort. You can control the runes better by pushing with Waveform. A lot of people are skeptical. Whenever I make this comment, I see people in the chat are blaming me, saying, no, Invoker wins that matchup easily. Guess what? He actually does, and if you run the numbers, Morphling wins that matchup. This is assuming they both go mid. They don't have to do it that way, and they get Misery Storm as well. We saw Lycan Storm in the past from CLG, but they get something that's kind of similar. This time it's a Morphling Storm.
Yep. I like that fact. It really depends, for me in this game, how quick are those Scythe Vices going to get picked up. Because like you talked about, Morphling and Anti-Mage, they both have the strength and weaknesses against each other. It really comes down to those supporting casts. And neither of these heroes would really like to get BKB. Sure, we've seen the days of Morphling BKB, and don't be surprised if CLG Morphling does pick up a BKB here. But most likely, I doubt it. We're probably going to see a Shotgun and Mentasile of some sort. Maybe even Lincoln Sphere. We saw a couple of that yesterday. But for now, a Scythe of Vice is really what's going to make and break the deal. If you can Scythe that Anti-Mage, if you can Scythe the Darkseer, or conversely the Sorcerer or the Morphling, you're going to have a very, very easy chance to get those kills, and then basically just roll their towers, roll their Raxes.
Yeah, I mean, I do think even a pretty early Orchid can be very effective, especially against Battle Fury Anti-Mage, so if you see him going that direction, then you could jump in, and they really like this Disruptor. They go for it here. Broodmother immediately snapped up. And she complements what Morphling and Storm Spirit want to do so well. Broodmother here that requires multiple heroes to gank her, which means heroes will be isolated around the map. There'll be a lot of space for Storm and Morphling to farm, unless Broodmother gets shut down early. One thing I want to point about Storm pick is that Anti-Mage not only can do a lot to counter Morphling, he can kill Chen pretty quickly if he gets a decent start. Storm Spirit, by his very nature, is normally very hard countered by Anti-Mage. You want to use you're generally using all of your mana in team fight, which means Mana Void will hurt, so you're a ticking time bomb for your team if you ever get caught next to them. And as good as all these players' control might be, a slight misstep can spell doom from multiple heroes on your team. Also, even if you're not using all your mana, that means Anti-Mage will be chewing through you very quickly.
Exactly.
So on paper, if this Anti-Mage gets going, Storm and Morphling could be in for a hard time.
Yeah, you talked about the Storm and Anti-Mage matchup. It feels like CLG's picking right into Zenith. Also, Broodmother against Darkseer. Darkseer is the best counter against Broodmother. You could try to farm in that lane. If these two ever gets matched up, you look towards Darkseer dominating that lane heavily, and I do mean heavily. Now, Broodmother, if he picks up the Orchid, you talked about how Orchid's going to be very key against most of these heroes, especially an Anti-Mage that's rushing for that Battle Fury build. He's going to spend a lot of time under that 900, 1000 HP mark. He's going to have a lot of damage, but not too much survivability if he's silenced up. But it's going to be the axe! Zenith pulls out the axe at TI2. Yes! Yes!
Yeah,
if they run the solo mid, I'm gonna lose it. I'm about to lose it.
I'm not sure you want to put him solo mid. If it's a Morphling there, it's not.
Forget the matchup. It's X Freedom.
No, there's a Broodmother, man. You get him matched up versus the Brood. I guess the
Darkseer too, man.
It's Freedom though, and Freedom often goes into the jungle role. So I'm guessing we will be seeing a jungle Axe, but probably Axe is not really a jungler that just sits in the jungle. He comes out with Battle Hunger or a Berserker's Call, sets up some kills for his team. And Lumi, we have seen the Darkseer Punch combo, but we get to see something pretty cute as well, the Axe Darkseer combo. Surge, Ion Shell into him, big Berserker's Calls, and heads are gonna roll.
One way or another, right? They're gonna get chopped off, or they're gonna be rolling on the ground laughing at this axe pick. But yeah, some hit's gonna roll. But this is insane. Now for you guys at home, for X Freedom, look at it again. He's buying couriers. Oh, it's free X Freedom, the true support at the heart. He has 2 Salve and a Stout Shield, and that makes me think he is gonna be going into the jungle.
Don't need gold, man. He bought courier and like it. Don't matter. He'll farm anyway.
Well, let's introduce the players. X Freedom playing that axe. We have XY handling the Disruptor. Going to mid lanes, HY. It seems like to be a Quas Wex build. On the bot lane here, we have Loda playing the Darkseer. And lastly, it's Ice. Going on the long lane, perhaps, on the Anti-Mage? This can't be. He's warding. Yeah, he's warding.
Okay. Meanwhile, for CLG, it will be Misery playing the Storm Spirit. Lacoste probably going to head to that top lane. Looks like he's been pulled some regen. Started with the poor man shield. He's playing the Broodmother. Ake on his signature Chen bought the Courier, Smoke, and Rena Protection picked up. Maybe a little bit of early pushing is what CLG have their eyes on. Looks like Pycat is heading mid. He's going to be playing that Morphling, of course, his signature hero. And finally, who did I miss? It's Miracle on the Tidehunter. 2 Observer Wards spotting each other, having a bit of a hug here on the bottom lane. They are 2 peas in a pod, man.
At least for now. At least for now. But yeah, I love the fact that you're talking about why Morphling in the mid lane is so strong. I think one thing I want to add to that is a lot of players just underestimate how much physical damage he does. It might look like, oh, 350 range. How is he ever going to hit you? He's just going to nonchalantly walk up to you, give you a couple hits, and if you stay for too long, wait for him, and suddenly you're dead. He kills basically out of nowhere, and you should never really underestimate this hero, especially under the hands of Highcat. And he is going to be going mid a lot of regen, though, not saving for the quick bottle, which is a lot of times what we see Morphling doing. But for now, this game, 6 tangles, a salve. He wants to stay in the lane forever, basically.
Freedom gets some illusions. For anyone who doesn't know, yes, Counter Helix will proc on illusions.
Yeah.
So this could really accelerate his farm. Could even look to do some early harassment. I want to take a look at this Broodmother lane, though. To me, this is one of the most important lanes. Probably the most important lane in the game, because if Broodmother gets shut down early, she can come back, but that means Anti-Mage can deal with her 1v1 if he gets enough of a start. X-Fight providing the harassment. Sentry Ward gets dropped. They're not going to be able to kill a cost with this lane. I don't really see any way to do it unless he really gets out of position. Unless, maybe if Axe comes out of the jungle, then they could. But he should get some levels as things are now. Maybe not as much as he would like, but more than some lanes. It's not a Sand King Leshrac, which we've seen in the past, can completely shut down a Broodmother. She might have a tough time, but she shouldn't be completely denied. Although, as I say that, Ice is doing a lot of harassment already. Mana Burn picked up. This will be a more aggressive anti-mage. We're not seeing any of that burning shenanigans, starting with Blink, Mana Shield, and sometimes even skipping Mana Burn if you're up against Shadow Demon. Ice wants to do a little bit of damage early.
Yeah, I mean, Lacoste, this is not a unfamiliar situation. He's always throwing this tough lane. He always gets no farm in the beginning, and he somehow farms his way back. His Broodmother is one of the highest farming Broodmother in the entire European scene, so he is going to find his farm. You're going to see him migrating, spiraling into the jungle once he gets a couple more level. So I'm not too worried about Lacoste. What I'm more worried about is how much farm Ice is going to get farm. It's one thing
By
that
the way,
yes.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's one thing that your carry is going to get farm. It's another thing when their carry gets way more farm than yours.
By the way, I just want to point out mid lane, HY started to heal up, but he had about 150 HP after a single wave in from Pycat and 2 right clicks just chewing
Exactly
through him.
what I mean. Yeah.
Invoker also has pretty low base armor. It's okay for an intelligence hero. It's not outstanding. Those auto attacks really hurt compared to Morphling. So you have 4 armor sitting at a similar level of HP, and then having the better nuke. This is why Morphling can win this matchup. Early on, it's 7-2 on the Morphling, 7-2 on HY. For a Quas build, HY is doing very well so far to keep up in terms of the last hits. If he goes for Exhort, he'll definitely have a decent chance here. If he goes for Wex, he's going to have a hard time until his phase boots come up competing, especially as Pycat starts to level. Getting close to the bottle, and once the bottle comes, that means he'll need help, but guess what? Help is on the way. Here comes Freedom. Does he have Battle Hunger? He does. This is going to be so obnoxious for Pycat.
Well, I mean, for Pycat, it's very easy for him to wait for him and actually just get a creep kill. I'm surprised that he went for the Battle Hunger build. A lot of times, there's a Battle Hunger, and there's a last hit. Yeah.
Well, that really shouldn't happen. If you're Cold Snap, you should not be able to last hit under your tower to boot.
He's Pycat. He's not giving a damn.
No problem, man.
Yeah. And of course, I mean,
I was about to say at least it forces a waveform out, but if you're that good at last hitting, it doesn't.
And here we go. How to win a lane. Dota 101 for people watching at home. Get a Wildkin, use Tornado, and send it to the enemy hero. GG.
So, in terms of the free farm, it's an anti-mage is a harder carry getting free farm. Storm getting some good farm in the bottom lane in response. Although AM is AM is the harder carry, the hero who will do more eventually. Storm is going to have a decent window in this game, especially if it's a Battlefield anti-mage like we talked about, if he goes for an Orchid, where he can find lots of kills around the map. And for me, that's going to be, whenever Misery plays the Storm, he is the player, more so than even Pycat, than anyone else on this team to keep your eyes on. Right now, it's all about Ake's Chen for me. But once Misery gets level 6, once he gets a couple of core items up, keep that camera fixed on him. I would almost, not quite as much as with Dendy's Pudge, but kind of close to it. He will set the pace for this team and lead the charge if they're going to win.
Yep. Also, though, you gotta worry about that ticking time bomb analogy you had. Gotta be careful about that mana control, because if Ice hits at level 11 or level 16, Mana Void will hurt big time. On the top lane, Lacoste is just having no mana constantly. That will change very quickly once he finishes Soul Ring. He'll just pop it for any time he needs to nuke with the spiraling. But for now, he's got nothing. One of these days, I'll actually remember. But for now, thanks for reminding me.
Thanks to the whole one for the reminder. But no big deal. Not too much miss. 28 and 8 on the anti-mage, 21 and 13 on the storm. It's a Darkseer bottom, and there are no real disables here, just the pull from Misery. It is a level 3 Electric Vortex, but that's not enough. You really need that second stun to get the kill. We saw it last game. If you don't have it, you're not getting the kills. So Loda is getting something, especially with this Haster. In comes the Courier. What is it? A Soul Ring pickup for him. Probably going to see the Soul Ring Tranquil Boots build. And this is the I am never leaving your lane build. That's what I like to call it.
Well, I'm never leaving your lane build if I survive. Which, you know, I mean, this is the standard build. I don't even know why we're talking too much about it. But yeah, he's basically, I'm very surprised though that he's actually getting a lot of farm, a lot of EXP. He surges as he sees Chen coming. Yeah, he has enough warding to really protect himself. It times out just about now. Very unfortunate gank that Aki decided to choose to gank right at that moment.
But look at Lacoste top. You know, there was a Sentry Ward placed down, a little bit of harassment early, but he's absolutely fine now. He's already hitting level 5. Soul Rain is not far off, and once Broodmother gets his Soul Rain, Endless Waves of Spiderling, or more likely perhaps, is going to be the nuke harassment. I want to point out, so far, neither jungler has really done anything. There was that one attempt to roam mid by Freedom, but he headed straight back to the jungle. For me, that is the X factor for both teams. When are they going to get these jungles involved? Where are they going to send them? The time is your biggest resource as a jungler. Do you want to spend it farming? Do you want to spend it ganking? Do you want to spend it pushing? And so far, they've both chosen to primarily spend it farming, but I expect that it's going to change soon, especially once Ake hits 5 and maybe when this X gets towards 6.
I think the question should be asked is, as we see this small engagement over the rune, it's going to be Regen. Here comes Misery, though. Nice net, and it's going to be a pull. We're going to see a Remnant as well. Misery has a ball lining. He's going to get the heal for sure. Who's going to pick up the first one? That's a big question. It is going to be Ty Hunter. Very unlucky for Misery.
Up top. No time to talk about that gank because he's about to go down too. Battle Hunger as well as Cold Snap. Talk about guaranteed procs, man. Oh, boy. But the first blood is going to be claimed by CLG just in the nick of time, I might add.
Well, I think getting the kill against Morphling is a silver lining here for Zenith. Keeping Pycat down is very, very key, but unfortunately, Misery part of that kill. You were mentioning about both teams being somewhat passive, just choosing the farm. I think in Broad Dairy, that favors Radiant a little bit more. Their hero needs level quite a bit. Ty Hunter in particular needs 6. He has 6. Man, this is one of the quickest level 6 Ty Hunter I've seen in a supporting Tide. Of course, Lacoste needs a lot of time to get up his items for the Spiderlings army, and once he gets his groove in this lane, he's not leaving this lane. Same thing with Pycat. He needs a lot of farm, and I think right now Zenith is giving to them. Zenith has a very small window of opportunity where their Axe, where their Invoker, and of course Darkseer, well not Darkseer, I mean Disruptor, will truly be effective in this game, and well, let's see when they're going to decide to strike first.
Yeah, there will be a timing window for them. I don't think they've reached it yet either. So I think for both teams, passive is okay, but the window for CLG to be passive is much wider.
Right. And here we go, jumping in the mid lane here. Immediate dust here. They knew HY will go into Invis. No chance for HY. Look at the right click here. Pycat says, you gank me once, I'll gank you back.
And the nice thing about this is Tidehunter can just occupy that bottom lane. They have a hero who benefits from the farm. They also have a hero who can stand against the Darkseer with Anchor Smash spam. So good at killing off the Ion Shell. I think we're actually seeing one of the better counters to Darkseer, not in the early levels, but once you get that Anchor Smash leveled up, you can kill the creeps so quickly. The only way the Ion Shell is going to hurt is if it's on the hero. But for the moment, Loda, a little bit afraid of that Storm gank. He's sitting back, putting the Ion Shell into the creeps. And here comes Misery, looking for an opportunity, looking for a pull on Loda. The pull has to be just right, but Loda's going to surge away, and the mana is just not there right now to actually get this kill.
Yep. So my attention is back on Lacoste on the top lane. You can see that with Soul Ring available, he's only got 11 CS. Anti-Mage by far leading the chart, and he will continue to lead the chart. He's got that Ring of Health. So it's going to be that Battle Fairy build again. I don't think he'll turn this one into a Vanguard. But you see the harassment coming from the Spiralings. Lacoste will be sending those Spiralings into the jungle. Or he can if he wants to do so. But for now, Lacoste is... Basically, he owns this lane. He's not going to die in the lane anymore unless he gets 3 or 4 man ganked on top.
Wow, look at this smoke gank from CLG. They are journeying all the way from their jungle. I believe they're going to run directly to XY. What a time to be warding. Gush, not able to gush. He gets fogged. Is XY going to live? Is there a glimpse? No, there is, but he's not going to even need to use it. That is unfortunate. One of the rare times they've seen CLG smoke gank and not find a couple of kills. And, it's a big time investment. That's about a minute and a half. You're not farming. This Ravage, yes, he got it quickly, but he has spent 3 minutes not using that Ravage. It would have been ready for another round, and they're not finding kills with it, which isn't not the biggest deal in the world, but it's an opportunity perhaps lost.
Yep. Which, again, passiveness is fine for CLG right now. If they have the Ravage and not using it, that's fine. It's basically a get-out-of-jail card, I feel like, at this point in the game. They are okay with farming because, again, Pycat, Stormsurge, as well as Broodmother will like a little bit of time to farm. Broodmother on the top lane here gets pulled back by... Oh, there's a Mana Void. There's for the kill. Massive amount of Sentry Ward gets invested. I remember yesterday you were talking about it. Sure, pro player gets Sentry Wards, and they are going to always be on top of it. But it still takes gold. So even though they got the kill, Disruptors, he's paying the heavy price when it comes down to pulling money out of his pocket.
Unless you're Freedom, then you're so pro that you get Sentry Wards for free. Ice, by the way, very close to the battlefield. Blinks back, in comes Miracle. Are they getting enough to be giving Ice this much farm? Broadsword picked up, Claymore picked up. This is looking like a 12, 13-minute battlefield right now. And he has been uncontested. Max mana burn, though. That means he's very squishy. It's going to blink away and salve up. I'm honestly, there's a decent amount of nuke damage, but I feel it's going to be I guess it's pretty balanced. So it's okay to max, I think, to get some points in Spell Shield, but I would like to see a few points in stats.
Yep. To answer your question, I think no. They're not. Radiant's not getting enough to warrant the 75 CS in 10 minutes. He's missed half a creep kill every minute. That's insane. That's insane.
If he gets a tower, I mean, if he had a tower, we would be seeing something similar to that 13-minute Radiance from Lone Druid. If he got a tower or some kills, unfortunately, he's not getting them just yet. But yeah, he's missing half a CS minute, like you said. What more is there to say?
Well, I mean,
it's 11 minutes in, so it's a little bit
right.
less,
and of course, some of them are Spiderlings, so it's not as much gold. But still, it's a lot of CS. He's gonna have his Battle Fury, and we talked about the timing, right? As we see EMP Tornado on the bot lane against Misery, nice cold snap. He's gonna barely have enough mana to get out there, but lost basically all of it at the end. We talked about the timing.
Storm.
And now he's not gonna do anything for a long time. We talked about the timing, about Stormsurge getting the Orchid or the Broodmother getting an Orchid, and you can punish Anti-Mage if he's behind. Right now, Anti-Mage, after he finishes Battle Fury, he could just duck in the jungle for about 5, maybe 7 minutes, and he's gonna come out with the Manta Style. And he says, "Good luck to your Orchid. It's not gonna do anything at all." So
he is so close. He might even have it before I predicted. But yeah, it's looking like the 12-minute mark. Miracle spots out Loda. Gonna back off. This game, so many anticlimactic moments. The smoke ganks getting revealed at max range and not amounting to anything. Two heroes running into each other like, no, I don't really want to fight you, man. I just want to give you a big hug. Or just watch you from across the distance, a little bit creepily. Nothing much too happening right now. I mean, gold-wise, experience-wise, it's very even. So it really comes down to, sort of this idea of our teams getting up. Anti-Mage is getting big. I would say the rest of the team is not getting too much. Loda only has a Soul Ring and Boots. Sure, you don't need too many items in Darkseer, but you'd like to have some freedom. Oh, Energy Booster picked up. Interesting. He goes for Tranquil Boots, not opting for the Soul Ring. That's what you normally see comboed up with that. Maybe he'll go back for his Arcane Boots. That will be... You don't really need them, but they're always a decent item to have on the team. Is HY getting a whole lot? Not really. Phase Boots, Bracer. This whole Zenith team, aside from the Anti-Mage, not too much, but top lane, zip in. They want that AM. Can they lock him in place? No. The blink away from Ice. 750 health, but it might as well be 1,000 plus with that Spell Shield.
Yeah, that Spell Shield really saving the decision to actually take a single point into Blink and max Spell Shield. That's huge. That's huge against the Stormsurge, against the Luke coming from Lacoste. You can see X-Freedom's going at it. Where's the pull? There's going to be the pull. Where's the taking time bomb with the Mana Void? No, oh, there's the Mana Void. Huge play here. And it looks like Lacoste under the web regen will still be dying. Is he going to try to go for the nuke? He's looking for Lacoste dies, limping away, his corpse twiggling around. The ticking time bomb has exploded. Ice. Uh-oh. Lacoste, he's going for it as well. He could salve up, or not salve. Ravage barely hits on the tip, but on the tip is just good as good. And now Miracle is fighting Ice. He's got his Arcane Boots. Gotta pop it. No, he won't. He's gonna be fine. Ooh,
that was really a max range Ravage. The most max range I have ever seen. Miracle, oh, the Arcane Boots. That does not help you heal up HP. Unfortunately, he will take a fall. Pycat has journeyed over here. Looks like he's just not got his Ethereal Blade. This would be a really bad time. Or not Ethereal Blade, excuse me. His Ghost Scepter. Oh, Glimpse back in. Pycat trapped in place. This might be the death of him. He's got an Anti-Mage of his own to work with. Who's going to die first? It looks like it will be Pycat. Out of mana. Oh, this is bad. Pycat rotates top. They lose 2. They blow a Ravage. Actually, excuse me. It was 3 counting Lacoste Broodmother. That Battle Hunger, man, I just got to go back to that because he had probably a half second to cast that Battle Hunger at most before Broodmother fades, and he pulls it off and gets away, dodges away from the spawn Spiderlings, which would have saved Lacoste. Incredible play from the Sags.
Yeah, it was a nice Battle Hunger that cleaned it up, but to me, it was opening being created by XY. Look at his skill build. Glimpse max, 1800 range. That's more than Ward C. Ward C 1600. That's absolutely insane. Alright, well, take that back. Ward C 1800 as well. What I'm trying to say here, between this Disruptor and last Disruptor being played by Miracle, a huge difference in terms of skill build. This one he's maxing Glimpse and the 1800 range is so big. I think last one they put a little bit more points into Thunderstrike, a little bit more nuking, and to be fair he was actually combining with the Chaos Knight, so they needed the damage. But you can see the difference in terms of skill build and what it gives you. And what it gave him there was a Morphling kill, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing if you think about it. As long as you can get it off up against Storm and Morphling, they can jump as far away as they want. Or they can jump as far as they want in. And if you're there at the right time, forget about Shadow Demon. You can disrupt your ally for a few seconds, then they probably die anyway. Or the enemy hero, and they probably die anyway. But if you can send that hero back 4 seconds ago, that might be 1,000 units or more. You know, it might even be 2,000 if it's the Storm. So this pick is working out well so far. Let's see if they can keep it going. Zenith right now looking pretty good. The Anti-Mage Battle Fury and Shreds already picked up 15 minutes in. Great farm from Ice, Ice, Ice. And now that Broodmother is pretty much, I don't want to say worthless, but the Spiderlings aren't going to do anything. Can hold on to the lane, but that's about it. And look at the aggression from Ice, Ice, Ice. Blinking well past the tier 1. Now they go to work on the tier 1. And Lacoste can do nothing but watch. Meanwhile, big engagement about to break out bottom lane. EMP, Tornado is going to hit on Miracle. He has the Ravage, but not using it just yet, and he is going to be sent back to base.
Yeah, we're very quick sendback, I might add. Now, Stormster might be in a little bit of trouble considering that sendback not available. He's going to use a lot of his mana to zip out. He has one Oblivion staff finish. I'm going to just guess that even before the Orc gets finished, the Anti-Mage is going to have his Battle Fear. Here comes a chase from Lacoste. Lacoste is going to turn around, get off a Battle Hunger, TP out. Ravage is going to use it. No, he's not. Thinks better of it, which perhaps is the choice here.
Oh, Glimpse, bottom lane, Misery sent back in. There's the silence. Misery trapped in the Hellish Prison. He will take a fall. That is so powerful against Storm. He zips away, and as long as you have vision, he comes right back. And, by the way, Disruptor has an amazing AoE silence to boot.
Yep, again, the 1800 range of Glimpse being huge in catching out these heroes that normally has a good escape, right? Reform or Ball Lightning, nope. When we see you, we'll get you back. And there you go, there's a tier 1 tower basically for free. On the top lane though, they see Ice, Ice, Ice. The tree being destroyed, so no more juking. Ice, Ice, Ice. Blink in 3, 4. He's gonna be fine. Loda comes in. There's a Battle Hunger to start. There's a Berserker call. A Miracle. Is he gonna blow his Ravage right now? He's not even gonna get the chance here. Of course, Perma hates for his whole team for about 6 seconds. Tornado in the air, catching a lot of people. Pycat trying to run. Pycat running right next to HY. He's going to wait for him out. Misery. Oh, gets called back again here. And now there's a Hellish Prison. You talked about kinetic field. 4 heroes on him right now. He's basically out of mana. Berserker call. And everybody just right-kicking him away. Meanwhile, Misery trying to do as much work as possible. He gets 1 kill. And it seems like Morphling somehow survived. Misery, will he survive? He will as well. Wow.
And they get the AM. Not sure if you caught that. That was the waveform out. Actually killed off the AM too. Great play from CLG. They do it without Ake. Great. I mean, overall, just a fantastic engagement for them. Still, this AM is a Battle Fury, and despite that death, he will get right back to farming. It's pretty early. He's only losing about 45 seconds at most to free farm, maybe even a little bit less. And I got to go back to Ake's Chen. I mean, I said it earlier. I didn't think he was having much of an impact this game. And what has he really done so far? They have 1 tower. He's used a couple of decent Hands of God. He used a very early Holy Persuasion bottom. This is one of the few games where we just haven't seen Ake being high impact from Chen. It's still a great hero to have in the mid to late game. He does provide a lot of defensive capability to the team. The farm's not there. The towers aren't there. I think this might be one of the worst games I've ever seen from him.
I don't think it's fair to blame his individual performance.
No, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying the impact he's having.
Right. I think it's really based around the lineup he's had to play with. Morphling on the mid lane. It's a farming Stormster on the bot lane, and it's a Broodmother on top. It's not a lineup where you have like a Leshrac or a great pushing hero that you could join in and push down towers. I think his job here is just to get levels, and he's doing okay. His job is to get farm, which is a little bit lackluster, to be honest. But yeah, for the most part, his job is to do nothing, and he's doing that. So I think it's part of a strat, and I think he will pay off more in terms of mid-late game when he shows up with a arcane boots, a mech, and perhaps even an axe scepter. But for now, he's doing okay for his team.
Well, the push is coming in bottom lane. Couple of creeps for him. This is where they want to get some towers. And how does Zenith defend? Zip in for Misery. Thought he spotted someone. Drops the Remnant. Those do get flying vision, so he is going to be able to see this Invoker. A big zip in. Pulls in HY, who's very fast. Is there follow-up? There is not. Miracle slowed down by the Battle Hunger. Not gonna be able to catch him, and HY lives with the Ghost Walk. Battle Hunger spam, pretty decent actually at helping your team escape here. And Miracle is going to be forced back. Are they going to give chase? This does a lot of damage over time. Vacuum it. Might be setting up the Ravage, in fact. Oh, he gets sent back to base, but he's glimpsed back in, I believe?
No, I don't think you could glimpse him back. If you use glimpse and try to do something, but here's Freedom. Nice stomp here from Aki, but Anti-Mage just joined the party, right-clicking, gets 1 kill. Anti-Mage burning away all the mana. He says, my work is done here. Time to protect my tower and get some farm on the top lane. Big chases coming from Zenith.
What the hell was that? I saw like the lightning bolt traveling towards the Fallon. I am so confused, but yeah, I guess it wasn't a glimpse in the end.
Yep. X-Freedom, the surprising factor for me is he's got his blink. I mean, he hasn't seemed like he's done much, but he's farmed quite a bit, and the blink is very, very helpful. Now, one thing that...
He's the highest impact here in the game right now.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's so easy for him to gank the top lane, right? Because he's constantly there. And of course, when he sees Brewmother's Spiderlings in the jungle, he eats those for farm as well. So he's getting a lot of creep kills from Spiderlings. Now, one thing I want to point out about Battle Hunger is not only does it provide a 4% slow on the enemy when you debuff on them, it also makes X-Freedom a very, very fast hero.
Oh, Lacoste denies the tower top lane. Great play by him, and Ice would have loved to have that. That would give him his Yasha and put him even closer to the ultimate. Mid lane, it's HY, waiting patiently for the backstep. Yeah, that... Oh, blink in by Freedom. There we go. Misery will be silenced and brought down. Assassinated. And Freedom is going to jet on out of there. The move speed, I mean, Battle Hunger gets some decent move speed, but it's really Culling Blade, which gives you... You're basically hasted at that point. It is incredibly potent. Yeah. I love the fact that Axe used to be so weak, but that buff that Ice Frog made to him in the last patch, I am a huge fan. This hero is so much fun to watch.
Now you have an excuse for KSing in teamfights. We want the MS. I say that half jokingly, but really, if you get your entire team a haste buff for 6 seconds, that's a pretty big game. So I wouldn't even call it KS. Ice. Look at how aggressive he's playing. Brewmother, I thought Lacoste was going to recover, but he has no chance in this lane.
He can't because Ice is the kind of hero that never wants to leave the lane. And Lacoste can't stand against him.
Yep.
You know, if it was a ganking hero, if it was maybe a Storm or, you know, even a Darkseer or a Sand King with a good start, at some point they need to join their team, but that's not Ice's job. We've seen him in a few fights. God, look at his CS. Yes, maybe even 50 of these are Spiderlings, but even if that's the case, the farm is still exceptional for him. And the pressure, relentless on the top lane, it's shaping up into sort of a 4-push one side of the map, 1 pushes the other, that one being the anti-mage. The 4-protect one we've talked a lot about. It's not really something he's going to do a whole lot of, but it's shaping up to be that kind of a game. And what better carry to have than a Battle Fury anti-mage in that situation?
Yep, and I think a lot of people at home are asking, man, why? I'm glad you brought up the 4-protect one. A lot of people would have been asking, it's like, man, why don't they just gank this AM? He's so squishy. You just need a couple guys, stun him up, and that's done. But you really can't, because as soon as you decide to leave and gank the AM, Zenith, the other 4, will be pushing your tower. They will be ganking you. And to be honest, you're going to be losing out more if you're dropping towers for basically attempt to gank anti-mage. But here you go, Miracle, he's running in. He's battle hungered up. He's taking damage. He's getting recall back. He's being bounced around. There's a kinetic field. Finally, Miracle's going to get sent back. And if that's the case, right now, you're going to see HY be very, very aggressive. Tornado being tossed around. Man, these guys, it's so hard to run into Zenith. They have so many spells.
Can I just say it's so funny how he's being sent back, he's being sent forward. He is just being bounced all over the place. He must be like a basketball right now or something. It's Tidehunter. Oh, Miracle.
Oh, man. And here we go. Pycat is trying to defend this one. And Zenith is treating like he's not even there. Of course, all the meanwhile, Anti-Mage doing work on top. Stormstray, you can see he's being very far barked. He wants to get this gank off before he gets the Manta, which, by the way, Ultimore goal is up.
Oh, there's the Orchid. Storm just picked it up. This will be a great time to go in. Zips in, silences him. There's the pullback. Do they have the damage? They do have the damage. Pycat even joins the party. I was pretty sure it would be an Ethereal Blade, but it's not. He is actually going to go for an Ultimate Orb here. Manta style or even an IF Skady could be an option. Either way. Or Lincoln's, really? Yeah, Lincoln's, that will help with Mana Void, but there's Battle Hunger. There are some very spammable nukes. I don't know if it's the best choice, but this is Pycat. I will never question his carry play until I am proven to be wrong. 4-step in! Ravage on 4! Oh man, Miracle, great play there. Can they catch anyone? Oh, the kinetic field, even better perhaps. Stephanie Blast hitting on 2. There's the Battle Hunger doing some good damage. A zip in, a zip out. Misery, zip, zap, zoop, and down goes Freedom. And now it's going to be a TP out. They get 3 if you count the gank up top in the space of seconds. and they do it on the back of a fantastic Force Staff in by Miracle.
Wow, I love the choice to go for Force Staff here instead of the Blink. Blink can be easily canceled. You can Force Staff yourself out of Kinetic Field, and you can Force Staff yourself past Kinetic Field, and that's exactly what he did. And he surprised the hell out of everybody. He says, I ain't the basketball that you tossed around just moments ago. I'm going to come in, and I'm throwing down sledgehammers and tentacles all over the ground. But for now, Misery, with this Orchid, I think he's looking for more. He sees Ice on the top lane, still does not have that Battle Fury finish. He does have the ultimate orb on his courier, but he needs one more, and that one more will be the cost. Here we go. He's turning on his ultimate, and they're waiting for Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage says, I'm just
Look at how strong the Battle Fury Anti-Mage is. I mean, not only does he get great farm and get a lot of items, this tower is still up.
Yep.
There's a lot of carries that would not be able to hold that tower. Granted, there hasn't been too much pressure there, but it's also because he's pushing the lane out so far that they're just never getting enough momentum towards that tower to knock it down. As far as the basketball analogy goes, this is a self-propelled basketball now. Okay, I think we've done enough.
I could not follow up on that one. And of course, Ice. I love the way he's playing it. He got ganked once by Orchid. He's like, you know what? I respect that. He's gonna stay in the jungle until he finished that Manta style, and he does. He doesn't have it now. Look towards him to go immediately back to that top tower and basically farm without impunity, or maybe go to mid. There's farm there too.
Pycat is going to TP in mid. Yeah, he's going to look to pick up a little farm. Lincoln's has been secured.
Wait, is Axe going for Blusto?
I like it on
If
Axe,
he's going for Blusto, I'm really going to lose it.
I do this in pubs a lot. I don't know if it's a great competitive choice, but I like it in pubs. Oh, the alacrity on Ice. He definitely should go for Heart because he's got plenty of damage with this available to be put on him. Or maybe even a BKB. Ice is going to pick, for that matter, a Basher would be fantastic, but he definitely doesn't need anything like a Butterfly, at least not early this game. Ice, looking pretty fat. Aegis picked up. Here they go. Now with that Aegis, we talked about it yesterday, he can be very aggressive as that frontline tanker.
Lane here, it looks like the call in Fakes Freedom. He's going to eat a Ravage. Loda is going to eat a couple of Silence as well. Double damage on Pycat, doing quite a bit of work. But Anti-Mage, he's right-clicking, but the double damage on Pycat really surprising him right now. Pycat out of mana at this point, and that was it. I'm not sure, LD, if you caught... Oh, the Courier! Oh, man, that was close. Courier, I'm not sure if you caught the beginning of that team fight, but Axe... he TP'd in and he used his shift key, queued up his Blink Dagger, and called Storm before he even had the chance to zip. Generally, a Storm Spirit player, have more than enough time to zip out, but it was so quick on Executum's call, and they got a kill against Storm like that. It was a big play.
Yeah, big kill there. They don't kill the AM, they don't get rid of the Aegis, which would have been really what CLG are going for. Ice dropped so low in that fight. Ravage was used as well. All in all, I gotta say, it's a decent fight for CLG, in spite of the fact that Axe had the good start picking up the Storm. But really, I'm not sure it's enough. They gotta find a way to slow down Ice. If he gets big enough, I guess if this game goes really late, Pycat along with Storm backing him up, Broodmother has a decent. They have some decent semi-carries. I just feel like they're behind right now, and it's gonna take a while to get that next tier of item. Plus, Zenith on the Dire Squad are always gonna have better access to Aegis, Alacrity as well, and of course this Darkseer. We haven't really seen too much of a big combo. We've seen it from Zenith in the past. They can set up that vacuum kinetic field so well as a team. We've seen a few smaller scale engagements, but not the big team fights just yet. If they ever land it, and a big AM ult lands on top of that, that is going to be real trouble. Or even if he just blinks and it drops the Manta.
Yeah, the Manta enough, and the fact that Illusion's Mana Burn, that could be enough. But, I'm looking at the net worth right now. Anti-Mage is leading by far, but... the next 3 slots are the Radiant semi-carries, or a carry if you consider Morphling that. So I think perhaps they're okay. Like we talked about earlier, a lot of times when it comes down to Anti-Mage versus Morphling, a lot of times it's just a supporting cast. I'm going to do a quick Orchid check and a quick Scythe of Vice check. Nothing really on top of that right now here. Pycat comes in, but can't really defend the tower. And he's going to just replicate back out. Ooh, Anti-Mage, he sees Aki, he wants Aki. He gets called back. Oh, Aki, he's going to go down the Battle Hunger for the lows on top of that. And I think with that, Zenith says, yeah, we'll take the advantage. We'll push a little bit. Let's see how much we could get. Look at that, blinking Manta style on the Anti-Mage. And they're just going to force a Glyph. Where's the Radiant defend?
Where's the Alacrity? Drop Alacrity on Ice. It doubles his damage, basically. Not doing it just yet. I think the tower would have been dead if they had done so. Oh, it's Miracle. 4-step in again. These 4-step ravages are incredible. HY Loda melted down in a matter of seconds, but there's the Thunderdome. Ice says hello. Lacoste says goodbye. I want to get the hell out. And he's going to take a lot of damage. Buyback from Misery. Steps in. Gets one. Wants two. Sent back to the fountain by XY. This glimpse play. XY. Possibly the best disruptor in the world. Oh, he's not going to TP out though. Pycat comes in at the last second. Oh, is he going to find him? Nope. He's going to escape this disruptor play. Oh my god.
Man, I'm glad you brought up it was a disruptor. I thought it was a Chen that, you know, a lot of Storm players like to zip in from afar after receiving the Holy Persuasion buff and get sent back during the middle of the fight. I thought that was that. I was like, great CLG snipes, but it was the disruptor. That recall was on cooldown. That was insane play. It was quick finger reaction. A lot of players can't even target the Storm because, you know, they're zipping, zigzag, zoom, and you can't even click on that. Man, showing great individual play is CLG as well as Zenith, but who's winning in that engagement?
That was a double buyback. Pycat, I only saw the Storm buyback, but it was actually Pycat as well. That was a double buyback for CLG. Or maybe Misery sent back to Fountain, but I see Pycat bought back for sure. So I think if your hard carry's buying back, you got to give the edge there to Zenith because Ice did not die, did not lose the Aegis, and now he's sitting on 5.1k gold. Whatever he wants, be it damage, be it a tank item, he's got it.
I'm still liking the heart that you suggested. I think heart will be great. Damage is not an issue right now. Or, I mean, if he wants to go for Basher here, like you also suggested, pretty good. But I think definitely it should be the heart. Just pulls him out of the kill range, and he basically is the unkillable machine at that point. But for now, one thing I want to point out about that previous engagement is how easy Zenith was able to walk up the hill. They killed a freaking Chen. That's it. And they're like, all right, time to go. And they was able to brought down about 1,200 HP from the tower. If the CLG responded any slower, they might have even lost Rex. And of course, that forced out 1 or 2 buybacks. So if CLG ever slips up just a tiny bit, this game could be over before they know it.
Yeah, definitely, man. And for the moment, it's CLG kind of sitting back, trying to get their farm up. Lacoste has had a BKB for a while. He needs a lot more, and this is where Broodmother really starts to tail off. You're up against Surge, you're up against the blinking hard carry, you're up against the Wex Invoker. And oh, by the way, there's Glimpse, which can be a real nuisance if you get sent back before your BKB gets popped. Completed Harp Thrust, picked up for Ice. That settles the debate for now. Now he can probably go straight for damage. But Lacoste, even if he gets more items, I feel he just can't have the impact he wants. So he can try and pressure this top lane, do as much as he can to bring momentum towards those towers. But there's so much anti-push. Not just Ice. It's Loda and this Axe as well. Axe, you talked about Zenith having some heroes that scale off, but I would say CLG has a few as well. The Chen, because Ake is pretty far behind and he's so easy to pick off, I'm not sure what kind of an impact he'll have. And even Storm, we're starting to see him slip. Misery is not getting the kind of farm we've seen from him in the past. He is working towards the side device. If he gets it, that could be huge, but it's a ways off.
There's a double damage rune. They're going to give it to Storm instead of Pycat. I thought Pycat for sure would have taken it and they would have gone for some big gank, but for now it is Zenith that's doing the big gank themselves. It takes just one stun on Misery, it takes one stun on Morphling, and Ice could do more than enough damage to kill them for now. And right now, Aki is in a very precarious position. He's got to be somewhat careful. Now, I feel like Tidehunter is doing an exceptional job. We'll be talking about the 4-staff Ravages. What is the Radiant? What is the Diary, sorry? What can they do about that? Do they have to initiate first? Do they have to counter-initiate? What is the deal? Because those 4-staff Ravages are kind of just stopping their offenses.
You know, it's just better positioning. They have 4-staff on HY of their own. They have Glimpse to send it back. If XY's really quick on the trigger finger, although we might have to not talk about that now. It's CLG looking for a big backstab. They're trying to come in mid. Are they going to find that right moment? They have full vision of Zenith. When are they going to pounce? Ward gets placed, and because they don't have smoke, this backstab, I don't think it's going to work out. Surge back in. Loda, zip in. There's the silence tornado as well. Loda pulled back in. No wall for you, sir, says Misery. No vacuum eater. But everyone else gets away. They get Loda. That's a nice kill, but I don't think it's enough to do anything big off of it. That being said, Roshan is still down. Yeah, I mean, I think they have the mobility to dodge the Tidehunter Ravage. To go back to your previous question, I think they just have to be a little bit more careful about how they position themselves.
Yeah, very unlucky timing for Zenith when everybody decides to TP out and back off, and Loda thought, whoa, this used to be the team I play with, and they're not happy with me anymore. And he definitely got pulled pretty bad there. But yeah, killing Darkseer doesn't mean too much in terms of pushing or going for a Rax or Roshan, but it does give them a precious 50 seconds or so to farm in the jungle without fear, because the Dire side definitely would not go for an offensive gank without Loda.
You know, this Darkseer, I really think he needs something to help him survive. I think a Ghost Scepter or maybe a BKB, although that is harder to farm. Because in spite of having the mech and the hood, he's still getting instantly picked off, and Storm's grabbing him every fight. And I'm not sure they're going to need his big ult to win the game, but having it will definitely improve their chances. So for me, he's got to buy something like that to help him out, or just play really far back, maybe even get a Blink Dagger and just camp out way behind your team. Even if his positioning is good, perfect positioning does not matter against Storm. He can always dip in. Not to mention a 4-step Ravage, which is basically as good as a Storm.
Right, as long as they see you, they will be able to get to you. That's Storm Spirit's mantra. But for now, Storm Spirit very, very close to his Scythe of Ice. I think in this case, you actually just go for it and don't save for buyback because you really need it desperately against the anti-mage.
Oh yeah.
Looks like he's gonna run into at least XY. I think he definitely solo kill it. XY sees Remnant on the ground, and is he looking for a courier? Well, he sees a courier right now.
There's a gem in the fountain, actually. I believe he forgot to ferry it out to himself. Courier will have to go back to base. This is not a good time to die if you're this close to site. He is going to TP home. And it's normally, yeah, you get a solo kill versus that Disruptor, no problem. This is XY's Disruptor, so chances are good he'll just glimpse you back and be absolutely...
Oh, man. Alright, HY, he is working on Scythe of Ice as well. Again, Scythe of Ice is what I'm looking for the most. I think that what determines the game. Whoever has it first, whoever lands it on the more important targets, will have the big advantage in team fight. Ice, 3,200 gold. Still no showing whether it's going to be a Basher or whether it's going to be a Butterfly. But for now, I think they're going to just push for a little bit of creep advantage and then wait for the Roshan to spawn. And when you are on the dire side, when you have Darkseer on the team, and when you have an anti-mage that can solo the Roshan, you have all the advantage when it comes down to Rosh.
You know, that was what I wanted to say in response to your comment about Storm. I think you do just rush it because that Roshan is respawning. If you give it up again, that means 10 minutes for Ice to pretty much max out and then still go into the base. It also means this Invoker will be incredibly fat by that point. Probably going to have a Scythe device if they hold on to that Aegis for, 6 to 8 minutes of its duration. They're pressuring mid. Again, like you said, it's all about the creep equilibrium. They don't actually want to go high ground. They want to get the lanes pushed out and then head straight into Roshan. But CLG
zips on the mid lane here. He gets called though. The recall will be happening soon, but he cannot get a recall off. Silence is Mystery. Huge mana void. And will the brew be okay? He's BKing. He's right clicking. 4-sap Ravage. Oh, it's Freedom going down. Freedom gets mech'd up. Freedom's fine. Vacuum wall on top of everything. Freedom finally will get right clicked off. Where's the anti-mage? Anti-mage getting driven back by Pycat. Pycat doing so much work with his Lincoln Sphere of all things. He's still okay. He's still ravaging. He's still right-clicking. Ice is out of mana at this point. How is he out of mana? Was it the illusion being created by Pycat? I gotta assume that is the case. Yes, indeed, it was Pycat, the replicate, winning them the fight. And will they get the Roshan? You can see Brewmother trying to go for it right now. Misery outside. Yeah, you're right. The Ravage just winning them the fight. Multiple buyback being forced out. Ice has one buyback. We talked about how anti-mage strong, but it's actually Pycat that's stronger. They're the one that's getting the Rosh right now. Strong turnaround for CLG. Will they get the Aegis though?
Anti-mage strong, but so too is Morphlene's replicate of that anti-mage. That's why AM did nothing in that fight. His own illusion turned against him. That replicate burning out all his mana. While the Aegis is not going to be stolen, Misery will pick that up. No Aegis for Pycat. Misery will take it. That means he's likely to get the Scythe device without dying, especially with Ake backing up. Good fight for Zenith. Did someone buy back again in that fight? Because I thought Misery had more gold than this. I think he did.
Maybe Misery bought an item?
Yeah, maybe he bought something. It's just on the courier. No, Javelin's up. Ooh, Broodmother has her MKB now.
Yep.
You know, if the Ravages are this good, then maybe Lacoste can do his damage. I really am surprised that Zenith is getting caught so much, but you know what's happening is Misery zipping in, and they're all clumping trying to deal with him, and that's when the 4-staff Ravage comes in. So it's the teamwork here between Miracle and Misery that's really setting the Ravages up.
And to be honest, when Misery zips in, they really force Zenith's hand. Are you not going to help your teammate when Storm is zipping around and killing your entire team? You got to just go in, and that really is a double-edged sword. If you go in and you help out, you die. If you don't, then your teammates die. So it's really forcing Zenith's hand. And right now, Ice, he would have been very comfortable with the Aegis, and now he's going for an MKB.
I'm thinking this is a Basher, but either way, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it should be a Basher. It should be a Basher.
I think especially with Alacrity on him, which I don't think we saw it in that fight again on him. I don't think HY has been getting it off. And
I don't think he has time to get it off, to be honest. He has to cast like EMP Tornado or definitely Blast.
You can use it. You can use it before the fight, though. I mean, if you know the fight's coming, which in that case they did. They're smoked up. They really want to make something happen top, and CLG are not fighting.
The biggest bait ever here. Oh, look, it's Ice in front of your base.
You know, the thing is you're baiting an anti-mage, so you probably can't kill him anyway, even if you all jump in. So this bait, maybe not the best option. And of course CLG expecting it. They're going to sit back. Pycat went for a BKB. He's got some good damage with the Lincoln Sphere, especially with the Mantis on the tread. Now he's got real good survivability. If he gets a damage item up, he may just be able to stand toe-to-toe with this anti-mage. Although the Basher has something to say about that.
Yes, Basher will actually bash through magical immunity when it comes to him from a melee hero, and last time I checked, Anti-Mage is melee, so it will bash through BKB. Of course, if you upgrade to Abyssal Blade, I will also bash through, and it will stun through the BKB as well. Now, one thing that BKB does give you is basically immunity against everything else. A Vacuum, the Invoker spells, the Silent Storm here from the Disruptor, and also it will block critically Mana Burn damage from Anti-Mage. That's huge because he's attacking so fast, Illusion is attacking so fast, so it's giving Pycat a lot of survivability, but will it be enough? Berserker Call goes through, the Bashes goes through, and that could be enough to kill Pycat throughout that duration.
I took a look at the golden experience graph. At this point, I don't think they're the most meaningful numbers, but it is CLG with a pretty sizable lead, and you got to give them a lot of credit with it. There's an AM on the field with 10 CS a minute, albeit some of them Spiderlings and some of them neutrals, but still a crap ton of gold to keep pace with that farm. You have to credit Pycat and his squad. Broodmother, Storm Spirit, and Morphling, these three semi-carries together, well, Morphling being more of a hard carry, but the other two semi-carries together, really doing their part, doing some of the heavy lifting. And for once, it may not be Pycat throwing his entire team on his back. It may be one of those CLG games where there are multiple damage dealers. That's what we're seeing so far. And because they have multiple damage dealers, it's not enough to kill that one hard carry. You have to deal with all these heroes.
I don't know what you're talking about, Pycat throwing his team on his back. It's Miracle's big back that's carrying his whole team with these Ravages.
I'm talking about the image you showed on the
Yes, we got to show that image after this cast. It's just a beautiful image. But yeah, Pycat's Ravages are just on point. I don't think he has missed a single one. Even the one on the top lane where he's just catching by the tip, right? It still hits, so it counts. Yeah, I think he's just doing great. One thing I also want to mention is Aki's Chen selection creeps. Look at the 3 Troll Warlord. It's not a coincidence he's getting Troll Warlord. Troll Warlord creeps. It's a ranged net. It's a ranged stun, and it goes through magical immunity. Shit, he needs to deal with it. It's basically the best thing you need to do to prevent Anti-Mage blinking away. Absolutely huge. Let's see how good his micro is when it comes to the actual team fight, because there's a lot of stuff he has to worry about. He has to pop his mech. He has to have the Ghost Scepter. He has to send people back. He has to mech or Hand of God. All the stuff, and he has to micro 3 guys. This is why you give this hero to Aki, because he knows how to play it, and play it well.
Fortunately, he's a robot, so he doesn't have to breathe or any of those normal biological functions, so he'll be just fine in that respect. You know, the only hero who can leave the base right now is Ice. And fortunately, he is the hero that benefits the most from that farm. The Basher has been completed. He's hiding in the tree line. I actually thought maybe I was disconnected from the game when I was looking at him, because just still as a stone, but no, he's just waiting to see if anyone pops up on the map. Does not want to get caught out. And here comes a long, not a smoke gank, but just running down the bottom lane for Zenith. Surprised, do they have a gem up on anybody? Because otherwise you got to worry about lane wards.
There's a gem on Miracle, that's it. Nobody else has a gem.
So Zenith kind of just hoping that CLG don't have this lane warded, and in fact they don't. They will dodge by all the defenses, bypass those. Meeting up with Ice. What are they doing?
I think they're waiting for
journey.
Yeah, they're waiting for somebody to defend this lane, and they're gonna jump on them and perhaps go racks. Oh, they see a tide, although that tide's fake. So, and I think they do know it's fake. But here's the thing, though. Misery slowly pushing up top, and as soon as he gets to the base and nobody comes to defend, it's gonna become very obvious that something is up.
Well, this is why when you do this, you smoke as well, because otherwise the illusion or even Chen creeps can spot you out. Another replicate created is going to be sent out. Maybe that was one was an illusion, one was a replicate. Either way, they spot out the gas smoke egg. Not going to accomplish too much. Zenith maybe pressing a little bit here. Tornado's going to fly in, not actually going to hit anything.
With Storm Spirit, he's going to be zipping from far. He can. No, EMP is going to be driving everybody back. But here comes Storm Spirit. He sees HY. No chance. He sent 4-staff Ravage from Miracle again here. X-Freedom gets kicked down by the Broodmother. Lacoste losing a lot of HP to the Anti-Mage. Will it be enough? Pycat look at DPS output on the backside. Big Mana Void doing damage. But Ice. He gets net up. First net. Second net. Where's the third one? That's what I'm talking about. Aki, your micro is too good. You are killing the Anti-Mage as a Chen. Wow, Miracle survived that as well. Forced one buyback out from HY, but the team fight lopsidedly won by CLG. Great late game poise. My god, this team is looking too good. They're too good.
We're really seeing some of the weaknesses of their lineup right now. As good as the Disruptor play was earlier, he's just not that high of an impact here at this point in the game. He's not able to send the Storm back to base as much as he would like to, and you know, Darkseer's dropping the wall, but he's not really catching multiple heroes, and even when he's dropping, it's kind of late in the fight. There's also the Broodmother at this point for me is such a pain in the ass because Anti-Mage was right-clicking on her for at least 8 seconds in that fight before she finally ended up, I believe Lacoste did take the fall in the end. Actually, I'm not sure, maybe he didn't, but either way, occupied a huge amount of the Anti-Mage's attention, and that's time you're not right-clicking Pycat, you're not killing off the supports like Ake, you're not killing off those creeps who are netting you, and, you know, it's too much attention required. This Brood was doing nothing for a long time, but Lacoste got space from his team, and now he's having a contribution. They force out the ice buyback. He blinks in. He wants to go. There's a glimpse. They pull back in. Misery. Oh, this could be a big kill, but he's got the Aegis. Should be okay. Ice dropping low. Ice blinks away. Really needs to go to Fountain. Not doing so just yet. Freedom in the middle of the fight. Lacoste is trying to do the damage. Running through the ice wall does not affect him because he is magic immune. There's a zip in. Gets Freedom. Misery doing big work, but he's going to pay for it with his life. He's going to pay for it with his life. There you go. He takes a fall. In the end, 1 for 1. And Axe and the Storm Aegis out of off the books, as well as Storm dying, but they do force an AM buyback, so perhaps it is worth it.
Yeah, I think CLG made the right choice. As soon as they saw the anti-mage buyback, they tried to back off. Again, another reason why Glimpse Max is so good. The Glimpse back to Stormstar, great individual play, great team play here. And of course, when the Glimpse happened, this Axe immediately jump in, not missing a beat, calling the Misery, and eventually getting the kill. And of course, forcing the Aegis there is also very good. Yeah, CLG, without the Ravage, they're just a different team. And without the Ravage locking people down, they just don't have the time to right-click. Everybody on the enemy team could dance away. But for now, they'll take this. I mean, they force out the buyback. Anti-Mage is not finishing that Abyssal Blade anytime soon. And definitely, he won't have buyback. So if Zenith gets caught out one more time in the next 3 or 4 minutes, they're in big trouble.
Yeah, he's pushing pretty far. This is about the point where he back off. Might do one more wave, and then he's definitely going to get out of here. Or is he? There's 2 heroes pushing him mid. Is Zenith really going to try to force something? This could be a huge mistake if they get caught out, like you mentioned. No buyback for Ice. Is he going to pressure the high ground? He can drop the Manta Style, do a little bit of chip down to the tower. There is a glyph available. They're probably going to try and force it. Where is that Alacrity? We saw it once earlier, Roshan. Since then, nothing. Finally, the Alacrity dropped on Ice. The Rex is going to take a lot of damage. He can just focus it down. Look at him cleaving through it. The Rex dropping low. He's going to get it. They have a Ravage. They don't want to go in. There's your 4-step. Ravage gets canceled. Ice can blink away. They claim a Rex. He gets away scot-free. And they're all on the back foot. XY might take a fall. That's probably going to be it. Deafening Blast does not affect Podcat. He's magic immune. Ice. XY sacrificing himself, throwing himself in front of the bullet for the team. He's in the Secret Service, folks. HY, big zip for Misery. He will take a fall. They lose a couple. Is it enough to counter push? I'm not sure. It might just be.
It is.
On Invoker. There is not. His is on cooldown. And Disruptor just bought a... he finally thought he could get another item, Lumi. He just bought a Staff of Wizardry. And then he dies and doesn't have buyback. Oh, man.
It is enough. If they have the Creep Equilibrium in front of the enemy base, they would definitely go for the push because they have Ravage. Tidehunter saved it in the last engagement. Wasn't the best Ravage he could pull off, so he saved it for the next engagement. But right now, the Creep Equilibrium, it's moving so slow. Chen is bringing up the rear. Not the best here when it comes down to pushing. So CLG recognize they can't really push that quickly. They're going to go for the Roshan here. Misery's going to get the Aegis. Man, he's doing so much in this game. He's going to pick up the Aegis. Who's going to get the cheese? It is going to be the Morphling. I still think they could push, but look at Anti-Mage on top. Ice, and his team might have lost a previous team fight. They won one back, and they're the first team to claim the Rex. That was the biggest surprise to me, that Radiant was refused to defend.
It's the Alacrity on Ice, man. I don't, you know, we can't run the numbers right now, but I guarantee you it ups his damage by a really large percentage. And we went from doing some decent damage to the Rex to pretty much just butchering it instantly, slicing it and dicing it to bits. Pycat Butterfly picked up on him. There is no MKB on this Anti-Mage. Now Pycat is looking like he is the fattest carry on the map and may be able to stand toe-to-toe with this AM. If he's not the fattest carry on the map, he's getting close. In fact, he is. He's 800, no, 1,000 gold worth, net worth ahead of AM. Even though he's 100 creeps behind, he's got 1 more kill. He's got 4 more assists, and I think it really comes down to those Roshans, as well as having less buybacks on his side.
Yeah, he didn't have to buy back because he had Aegis, he had Chi, so things are that, like, it's giving them the advantage. And of course, Ice, you gotta keep in mind that Morphling is sharing farm with Stormster. He's sharing farm with Lacoste. Ice is eating all the farm by himself, or most of it. I mean, HY is getting some, Loda's getting some, but not the same ratio. So Ice, despite getting all the farm, he is still just barely ahead of the Morph right now, and that's a big thing right now. Oh no, Brewmother is gonna make it alive. If he gets Berserker Call, he is a Berserker Call. Lacoste is gonna get picked off. Buyback check. Buyback check. He does have it. He does have it. We're good. We're good, at least for now.
The kill also happens on the bottom lane. This lane they already have claimed. They have already claimed the melee racks there. They can try and rotate in mid, but it's a little bit more dangerous to be tanking the tower with your heroes. You want to creep support. It's going to take you a little longer, but they're going to try. And for CLG, I believe they have to back. They already let Zenith get high ground.
I was going to ask, where the hell is Morphling's TP? He did not have a TP, but Chen's going to send him back. There's a range rack. Brewmother's going to buy back. Buyback's forced. Immediately Zenith says, we'll back out, but Stormster, you can't back him up. No, Misery out of mana at this point. He's going to get recalled back. But he dies before doing so. I think that the recall wasn't that good either. But here we go. Stormster has another go at it. Is he going to go? You bet you he would. He sees a HY gonna try to pull. Where's the pull? No, Misery getting his mana burn again. Freedom calls. Where's the Ravage? There's a Ravage. It hits on a good number of people. Pika pops the BKB. He's gonna murder the Axe. Where's the next target? Where's the next target? He sees XY, but XY is gonna force half himself out. Anti-Mage is gonna blink out just fine. He's looking for Misery. Misery gets sent back. Ice on the back line. He's trying to... Well, he's farming. Alright, okay. Meanwhile, in this team fight, and they're getting chased around by the illusions, Anti-Mage says, I'll take on the whole team. HY's back. Great Ice Wall against Lacoste. Lacoste getting worked down. There's a recall backwards. That is Chen. Aki pops his Ghost Scepter. He's going to die sooner or later. There you go. He's going to go down. Ice says, I'm sure he has buyback. He will buy back immediately, but that's a long way. Here we go, Misery. He's still looking for more. These 4 staffs is making his life painful. Anti-Mage blinking forward, trying to push out mid. I think this is time for Zenith to rotate in from bot to just claim the mid racks. I think they have an opening. Brewmother does not have buyback, and neither does Chen or the TIE Hunter. They could do it. Are they going to go for it?
I don't want to say they ninja racks, but they pull a fast one in CLG about 5 minutes ago, and now they're poised to take another. There is no Ravage on the Tide Hunter, even if he does buy back, which he's about 30 gold short. Oh, what a time to be 30 gold short. This is where you wish you didn't buy that set of tangos about an hour ago. Man, it's getting close to the ultra late game. Zip in for Misery. What's HY? Will he be able to zap this out? No! Absolutely murdered his own massive mana pool. Turned against him. He will pay, and with that death, another buyback, another round. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Ice. Abyssal Blade picked up. There's the AM illusion. Instantly destroyed. I believe that was scythed by HY. No, it's just dying really quickly. Here comes Ice. Right-clicking on the tower, doing all the damage he can. Blinks away. They don't get the tower. They force multiple buybacks. They kill off the Storm another time. Do they back now? It looks like they might not want to. Loda has the Soul Ring, has the wall, has the vacuum. There is no Ravage, but there is that huge Darkseer combo. I still think one more proper initiation, a big blink call from Freedom, and they could do it, man.
They keep going. Zenith keep going. No Ravages up. Storm's dead for a full minute. Anti-Mage blinks in without fear. He's going to go right-click the Rax. There's a wall being dropped down. That's going to prevent anybody from coming near. Rax goes down, and the tower goes down. Rax taking big damage. Freedom on support duty. He is going to just blink in and call if his Anti-Mage is in trouble. Anti-Mage so tanky at this point. Down to half HP. The Barax is dead. He's going to blink outwards. No, Aki gets driven back. Forces out the Ghost Scepter. And the Rax is going to go down. I think after this, it is a little bit time to back off. There's a 4-staff Ravage against Ice. Will he be fine? There's a call from X Freedom, but will it be enough? Anti-Mage blinks out. He gets earned up. Look towards him to blink back in. X is going to get killed, and looks Lacoste. It's time to chase, but I think that's okay. Zenith got what they wanted. The second lane of Rax, and they should be very, very happy in the position in this game right now. Big line being drawn on the middle lane by Misery. They need to push out mid, but before doing so, they got to push out bot as well. Man, just so much pressure. I think CLG walking into this game up in the highest seed in this group, about to go down 0-2 in this game. Or is it too soon to call it?
Too soon to call for me, even though you're down 2 racks, because you're up against so many strong DPSers. Lacoste with the BKB, with the MKB, the Morphling, who is still bigger than that Anti-Mage, I believe. The gold per minute much higher for AM, but the net worth is what really matters, and it is in fact Pycat. Still leading the way, and it's not just the numbers. He gets a Crystallis. Look at his attack speed right now. You can't actually see it, but it is enormous because he's sitting on over 200 agility of his own. He's also got the Mantle Style, the Butterfly, giving him massive increases to that. And now he's going to be attacking you really fast with crits, man. With crits. This is a lot of damage from Pycat. I'm not sure it's quite enough to kill off the AM quickly, but everyone else can drop very fast. And with the BKB, the only thing he has to worry about, I would say normally, is the Abyssal Blade. But the Lincolns will actually help against that, so in the end, it might prove to be a fantastic item choice at this point in the game. He's not even far off a Daedalus for that matter. 623 damage crits, and look at the attack speed. He is going to be chewing through Zenith. If he finds the openings to right-click, if we see one more great Ravage from Miracle, if we ever gets this refresher up, I still think they can win this game. And how many times have we seen late game Tidehunter fall off because there's so many BKBs on the enemy team?
There's none.
There's zero in this game.
And perhaps that's why the reason Miracle's being so effective, like we talked about time after time after time throughout the entire game, it comes down to the supporting cast. Misery's been playing out of his mind right now. He's just doing so well. In the last couple engagements, he's throwing himself in harm's way. Just Illusions being on top, getting ganked. But right now, it's Zenith that's up 2 racks. It's Zenith that's his one more fight. If they claim one last racks on top, they should be good. But that's going to be a hard one. Aki right now at this point not going to be too effective. Misery has the cheese, and that cheese will be proving to be extremely vital. Gonna check buyback. We have one on Morphling, one on the Brewmother, and that's it. Storm a little bit far away, and he has to work for his cooldown as well. I think at this point though, net worth is out of the window, especially only 1,000 gold in difference. Everything is out of the window. It comes down to buyback. It comes down to focus fire as well as positioning, and really both teams can win it.
As far as the buyback goes, it's the Morphling, the Brood, one of the Dark Two, the only 3 heroes that appear to have it right now.
Yes.
That's 2 on the Radiant. Buyback's more important for the defensive team. 4-step out from Pygat, sent back to base. That could have been a disaster, but he will survive. He will be okay. In comes Lacoste, the anti-mage illusion, slowly chipping away at the tower, doing some damage there. And because they have Rax mid, because they have Rax bottom, they don't really need to force. Here's the zip of a lifetime from Misery. Haster picked up. Once Ice, Hex is used, and then the biggest troll of them all, he just runs away. So we were expecting the huge climactic finish, and then he's like, nope, you guys are going to have to wait a few more seconds for that.
If you guys are wondering why Zenith backed up immediately after the gank on the Morphling failed, it's because Ice Mantis Cell is on cooldown. The Mantis is actually a huge part of his damage output, as well as his most effective way to deal with the Storm Spirit. So they're going to just wait for the cooldown. It's not that long. It's only 50 seconds for melee heroes. So they back off. It's back online right now, and you can see them playing a lot more aggressive. So even a small stuff like the Mantis Cell cooldown, it's huge in these type of engagement. And they're slow sieging it up the hill. Force Spirit in the front, and Iron Shell in the front. They do see Ice, and here comes the initiation of blinking here from Anti-Mage. Oh man, Storm Spirit, he's zipping. Who is he looking for? XY, the 4-star range. They do murder XY immediately. Loda's gonna be next. Anti-Mage on the middle of everything. Misery eats a Mana Void. Vacuum. Wall. No, there's not enough AoE. Loda pops his Ghost Scepter, running around Lacoste, focusing him down. Anti-Mage doing so much work. The bash, keeping everybody on lockdown. Oh, big Ice Wall. Marigold's gonna go down. Pycat is gonna survive. He does adapt the strike. He's gonna Manta out. He should be fine. But who is gonna protect this tower? Nobody is gonna protect this tower. Anti-Mage, Morphling trying to do a lot of work, but ultimately it will not be enough. He's going for it. He might get, he does the big crits. No, he gets chopped up by X Freedom. Immediate buyback here. Pycat is putting his entire team on his back. And that back has some muscle of a cow here. On the top lane here to Lacoste, right-clicking. Freedom trying to run away, but he just can't. The MKB piercing through Freedom. Freedom, oh, it's a slow and painful death, but he gets some help. Will it be enough? Use the webs to destroy the trees. 8-second cooldown. Freedom's gonna run out. Oh, the Freedom train. He's running home. Oh, Lacoste is trapped, blinking from the Brood. Oh, Ice gonna get the kill. Brood goes down. He does not have the, he does. He does have the buyback. This game is just so crazy right now. Loda spots out that Aegis is back, the Roshan is back. They could go back and go for it right now. I think that is ultimately the smartest choice. Oh my god. I need to drink water.
Take a breath, man. Jesus Christ, that fight was like 2 minutes long. And so many buybacks in the end. The racks are standing. Multiple buybacks. I want to say a lot more on the part of CLG. And now Zenith, more importantly, poised to take that Roshan. There is just no way to contest this one. I think, especially with the Ravage down, they really need that Ravage to win a team fight. It looked so damn good for CLG. They caught out the Darkseer. He dropped really low. The Ravage just caught him on the edge. They were on the verge of just wiping out those supports, and without that wall, without the big vacuum from Loda, I took a look at the chat. Some people were saying Loda's not performing. Guess what, buddy? He performed big there. Vacuum wall on 5, I believe it was, at least 4, and that is definitely what won them the fight. Darkseer, easily the best hero in the game to have on your supporting cast, especially in these late game scenarios, because as big as Morphling gets, you get a even bigger, or an equally big Morphe, I should say, working on your side, working in tandem with your anti-mage to do the damage. That AM, 4.5k gold up. Here he comes top, looking to push that lane in. And Zenith, they know the Ravage is down, although it's cooling, it's about to come back online. And for Miracle, he wants this Refresher, man. If he had it, I feel that Refresher would win the game, or at least that huge fight convincingly. But he's just never going to farm it at this point. And the climactic fight, it's about to begin. I hope your bodies are ready, guys, because mine is. My brain is not. But here we go. Gush on ice, ice, ice. Anchor smash. The tower taking some big damage. Lacoste in the front lines, trying to do what he can, which is not too much, to be honest. Right now, they're trying to clear out the creep wave. Zenith very patient. The tower takes the fall. They will not have that to work with in this push. Pycat runs in. Lacoste in the front lines. In the front. There's Misery. Blinking for freedom. Call on two. Chop, 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 says AM. A pretty good Mono Void. Lacoste drops low. Deafening Blast. Ravage to cancel it out. Ice, ice, ice will fall. But remember, he's got an Aegis. He'll be back momentarily. It's Pycat. Can he do enough? It doesn't look like it. Freedom dropping low. Freedom survives. Freedom lives. Ice, ice, ice. Cleans up Miracle. He wants more. Go straight for Ake. No, he says, fuck it, man. I'm going for the racks. Right clicking away. Ice, ice, ice is going to chop it to bits. There's the Mantis Style. The Glyph is forced. Meanwhile, Heroes dying left, right, and center. But it is all about this racks. As long as AM lives, there's no way they're actually going to defend. Pycat will take a fall. Low to HY, killing them off. They get the racks. They get mega creeps. And there's your GG. 60-minute game. Zenith do it. They take game number 2. They take the series 2-0. And Zenith off to a fantastic start. And they needed it. Boy, did they need it on day number 2 of the International 2 group stages.
34, 35, billions of buyback, massive ravages throughout the entire game, vacuums, X being picked up. I cannot ask for a better game. Ice, Ice, Eye blowing everybody's mind with his play on Anti-Mage, and I just gotta credit, even though Zenith won the game, all 10 players play beautiful Dota. If this was a final match in the grand final of International 2, nobody would be disappointed. The skill of these players, the skill of these teams are just immense. My god, we're gonna go to second series today. I don't think our body can last too many good games.
We'll be here in spirit, but our voices may give out towards the end of the day. But for now, that does it for CLG vs Zenith, guys. LG and Luminous signing off for this VOD.